Hey, what's up? This is Alec Kermit, and today I'm going to be sharing 3 clever ways you can save a lot of money on your Switch 2 ownership experience. Now, if you're like me, you experienced a lot of sticker shock with the Switch 2 reveal, the $450 console, the $70 to $80 games, and I know a lot of you are going to abstain from purchasing the console at all, at least in the near future, waiting for prices to drop, and I think that's great. However, if you're like me and you know you're going to purchase this thing anyway, here are some things you can do to save quite a bit of money. So, my number one tip is to get a discounted Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack membership. So, by default, this membership costs $50 for a year long, but you can go on eBay and find it for as little as 18 to 20 bucks. Now, how is that possible? Well, what these eBay sellers are doing is purchasing an $80 family membership and then selling out the remaining 7 slots of that membership for 20 bucks a piece, pocketing them maybe $8 a membership and giving you over 55% off. And while Nintendo might not be ecstatic about this kind of backdoor loophole, it is how the subscription service was designed to work. Nintendo even said when they advertised this family membership that family literally means anyone you know. It can be across the world, it can be the guy down the street, a few friends at school, whatever. As long as you get 8 people together and pay into it, they'll give you 8 memberships or 8 memberships for $80. Now, the reason you're going to want this online membership plus expansion pack is for my step number 2, as well as playing Mario Kart Online. Let's not get that confused. But my tip number 2 is to not buy Switch 2 edition games for any reason whatsoever. So, Switch 2 Edition games, if you don't know, are Switch 1 games that have been enhanced to run on the Switch 2. So they have higher frame rates, higher resolution, even extra content in some scenarios. And so to purchase those games individually is an $80 price tag. However, if you already own the game on Switch 1, you can get it much, much cheaper. So, for example, Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 editions are absolutely free to you if you have the NSO plus expansion pack membership and a copy of those games for Switch 1. So, step 1 is already paying off for you. However, for some of the other Switch 2 edition games that do not come free with an online subscription, like Kirby and the Forgotten Land, it's still cheaper to buy the Switch 1 version and then upgrade it to the Switch 2 edition. And this is an available purchase for I think it's 10 to 20 bucks. And so let's say you buy Kirby and the Forgotten Land online for 30 bucks on eBay and then you upgrade it to the Switch 2 edition for 10 to 20 bucks. So let's say it's 50 bucks at the most. That's 30 less dollars than buying the Switch 2 edition from Nintendo. I think the only exception to this method is going to be Metroid Prime 4 because it's being released new to the Switch and Switch 2, so it's not going to be worth it to upgrade from the Switch 1 edition, but for all the other games, it absolutely is. Now, me personally, I purchased Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom off eBay, shipped, taxed, everything for $78, and that is less than purchasing one of those games Switch 2 edition. Now, I have to imagine these Switch 1 games with Switch 2 editions are going to hold their values incredibly well. I can almost guarantee you if you purchase Breath of the Wild for Switch 1 today on eBay for say 35 bucks, it is going to be worth that much or more 3 years down the line because people are going to go to the Switch 1 version to upgrade it to Switch 2 instead of paying $80. And that segues us nicely into tip number 3, which is buy physical games whenever possible. It has always been a huge advantage of buying physical that you can sell the game down the road for a large percentage of what you paid for it or trade it for a new game. And now I know what you're about to say. A lot of Switch 2 games that come on a chip are not true physical. They're just going to contain a game license, and when you put that chip in the console, it's going to download the game. But that doesn't change the fact that that game license is tied to the chip and not your Nintendo account. If you purchase a game through your Nintendo account, to be downloaded digitally, it's tied to your account for life. The money you paid for that game is gone forever, and you cannot sell it to anyone on the secondary market. However, that game chip, even if it's just a license on a chip, can be sold to GameStop or on eBay. And so let's say you buy Split Fiction for 80 bucks, you play it for a year, you get tired of it and you're ready to trade it in for something new and you sell it for 50 bucks. Well, 50 out of 80, your whole purchase price of that experience was only $30 instead of it being stuck on your Nintendo account at $80. I hope these tips were helpful for you. Thanks for watching. Post a comment down below if they helped you out, and we'll see you in a new video soon.